Welcome to another edition of the AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey, everybody. We're so glad you're here today.
We're thrilled to have you here today. We're going to be getting into the setup and branding of a store for you on your AttractWell website. Our platform now is capable of handling your e-commerce needs. Last week, Greg did a deep dive, it's not really such a deep dive, it was an overview. I'm going a little deep on like the branding and setup today, but last week, Greg gave us an overview of kind of what the store is capable of to some light degree, but we're going to get into some more granular detail today. The use case that you're going to see is an actual AttractWell members account. Yulia is a piano teacher. She also creates her own arrangements and sells sheet music and tutorials to her students. So she has the ability to sell her time. So one-on-one, she has mentorship program for her piano students. And then of course she has these a la carte purchases. All of these things are the perfect things to put into your store with AttractWell. So what we're going to be doing today is walking through how we set up Yulia's products, her collections of products, and then ultimately branding and setting up her store so that it's live on her AttractWell website. We're going to go through all of that today. A little bit of housekeeping first. I have a planning document that I've created for you. And if you signed up at attractwell.com/office hours prior to this call, then you have a copy of this in your email. We will be including a link to this in the description box on YouTube when this replay is up and processed. This is not intended to be a completely exhaustive list. However, it is designed to really help you do the thinking and the writing and the gathering before you go and log in and start interacting with the tech. Things will flow a lot more easily for you. You'll get things done a lot more quickly than getting midway through something and realizing that you need to go play graphic designer in Canva or something like that. So do make sure that you take advantage of that. I am going to be showing you sort of in time how I used one of these that I filled out for Yulia, and then of course getting these things set up on her AttractWell website. So as you're coming in, let us know, where in the world are you? What are you selling? And let's get to know each other a little better. We're always thrilled to see who is coming on and joining us from all over the world using this platform to simplify the way you run your business. So what I'd like to go ahead and do, and let me tell you this as well, by the way, as we're going through this, you're going to see that there's a little bit that goes into this, right? I don't think that there's any e-commerce that you can engage in as a business that doesn't have some degree of complication or work to set up. So if at any point you realize that it is a better economy of time and resources for you to outsource what I'm sharing with you, we have a team that can help you with that. So if you go to attractwell.com/concierge, you can learn about the services that are available. This can be done with you, done for you, and can really cover the full scope of utilization of the AttractWell platform. So definitely do get in touch with our team if you're looking to shorten timeframes, skip the learning curves and get straight to work with things set up for you. So what I'm going to do first is actually open up this planner document that I've created for you guys. And then we are going to be able to go in, excuse me, and take a look at that together. Excuse me, I can't find it. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is our store setup checklist. Again, this is not intended to be exhaustive, but it is really intended to cover the most important bases that you're going to want to cover for your products, your collections, and your general store setup and branding before you get started. This, of course, does assume to some degree that you've got things that you're already selling somewhere. So you've got some of these details worked out, like price, for instance. But we can get into, excuse me, we can get into the different ways that you can set this up. Sorry, just a second. Do you ever drink a smoothie and just like a piece of like fruit is like in the back of your throat? Pardon me, that's me right this moment. Okay, So what we're doing here in our store setup checklist is beginning with product. At the end of the day, we don't set up and decorate a brick and mortar storefront without first having products in the store, right? So we do have to get our products figured out first. And that's what I recommend that you do as well. You can make multiple copies of this document to plan out your multiple products. What we want to be looking at here is actually getting the details of the products and what fulfillment looks like with the user experience in mind. So for instance, if you have a digital or service delivery, what are the next steps that they need to take after they've purchased so that they're able to retrieve the thing or set themselves up to get the thing that they have signed up to get. And then of course, setting any other expectations if your product is physical or otherwise. So our product planner here, what we're going to be putting into place in Yulia's store is her 30-minute trial lesson. This is something that she sells for, I believe it's $50. I think I have this somewhere that I'll be able to reference. So, she sells this for like $50, and it's something that you're able to do. You spend 30 minutes with her as a piano student, and you can determine together whether or not you're a fit to move forward, at which point she offers you the opportunity of joining her mentorship program. So what she's done here is she's provided me with some details of this. And so we've put an overview here of sort of what this is. So it's 30-minute trial lesson, right? We've got the details of it. In Yulia's case, because this is literally just getting on a 30-minute Zoom call with her, piano to piano, or in person potentially if you're local to her. This isn't something that we have to worry about in terms of physical product, so that we don't need an inventory of this, model numbers, SKUs, variants, colors, sizes. However, if you do sell physical products, say you've got something that comes in a variety of colors, then these of course are things that you're going to want to include here. Variants are another option. What this could look like if you are, let's say you're a coach or a service provider and you sell your time with sessions, then you could have a session listed here for X amount of money, and you could have a variant for packages of those sessions, right? So you could have a pack of 3, a pack of 6, and then of course you would have the pricing for the pack of 3, the pack of 6, etc. If they are on sale, then you could say what the sale price is going to be. And then again, of course, if it is something that does have any kind of limited inventory, then you can limit this to that. You can add on and upsell here as well. Customization, again, this is really more in the physical product space. If you want something that's, got embossing or engraving, and that's something that you do, of course, that's details that you'll want to make sure that you include with this particular product. This is going to be included in a collection on her store's main site called Private Instruction that will also include her mentorship. There are no related products to this particular one, but if she had them, then of course we would list those here. I've created a product image in Canva already that's representational of this specific product. And the minimum size for the first one, it's recommended, is 1,000 pixels square. And then of course, if you have videos that are helpful in the demonstration of your product, then of course you can go ahead and compile those here on this sheet. So I want to actually pop over into her site and show you up to this point what this will look like in getting this set up. So if we go into the store, we're going to go to products. And then we're going to, you can see I've actually already added several products here. I'm going to add a new product. And I'm going to reference what I've already put into the planner. And this is called 30-minute trial lesson. So I'm going to paste that right here. I have, let me find this real quick. Yes, $50. And that is a service. I have a photo already created. I'm going to add that here. It's in the downloads here. And this is going to be our private instructor. I thought I had this in here. We may have to go and create a new one. Uh-oh. Here we go. Nope, trial lesson. There it is. All right. There's a 30-minute trial lesson. And these were all created in Canva, essentially in the same document, borrowing the same branding for each. I'm going to go back over to our planner and grab our product overview. And I'm going to use this paste plain text feature so that we don't get any weird formatting. So here we go. That's a pretty straightforward overview here. We're not going to add this to a collection just yet because I want to show you how to create one. I'm going to copy my product details now. And also, of course, paste plain text. You can choose, if you don't want to use the planner, to put this information into a word processor document as well. Okay, we will be adding this to a collection in the future, but we don't have to do that right now. So the link path is 30-minute trial lesson. The maximum quantity we want to allow a single person to purchase in one cart is 1 in this case. You could, in Yulia's case, maybe choose to have multiple options here. Maybe if somebody has several, if there's several people, like maybe a husband and wife. I know she works with adults. I was going to say if it's kids, maybe, if they have multiples, but because Yulia works with adults, the likelihood that somebody is going to need to purchase more than one for themselves is highly unlikely, and it's not really desirable. So our maximum quantity here is going to be 1. If you sell digital products, ebooks, courses, things like that, I also recommend that you use a single, number 1, max quantity for purchase here as this setting. If that's a coaching call with you, etc. So just to show you really quickly, if Yulia wanted to maybe offer a package deal here, that would be done in a variant where we could add a variant of 3 sessions, and that could be $200, right? And then we could add another session of 6 sessions for $400. And so that's what, like, they would be able to choose a quantity of 1, package of 3, package of 6, etc. But I'm going to remove those because this is literally for just 1 call. Okay, so we don't have this on sale, so we don't need to figure out any of this stuff. But if you did want to place something on sale, you give the sale price and you go ahead and determine the date and time that the sale begins and the date and time that it ends. And of course, if you have a physical product, you may have a model number, you may have SKU information. That's something that you may include here, depending on what you're selling. Again, in Yulia's case, there are no add-ons or variants to this particular offering, and we don't have related products. Now, let's now go back to our planning document, because now we want to get into what the post-purchase experience is going to be. And that is down here. Now, the post-purchase experience is essentially what happens after somebody makes a purchase in your store. What information are they sent? What are they told to do? How are they made to know what their expectations should be? And how do they receive their products, right? So what we're doing here is we're creating a campaign. Now, this is already created for the sake of time, but basically what you need at minimum is 1 campaign that has 1 email that goes out on day 0, that's immediately, that's going to set expectations about what's next, right? There's a lot more you can do with this, but that's the bare minimum. So in this case, we're saying, thanks for signing up for a trial lesson. Click here to schedule our call and look for an email from me soon. Yulia has a page on her AttractWell site where, once clicked, folks can go over to see a calendar embedded where they can pick their date and time. Now, they've already purchased, they can be sent this, and of course, they can book on the other side. Now, if you are selling something that is sort of a pathway, a bridge, a funnel, a tripwire that moves someone from a low-level purchase potentially toward a much higher level purchase with you, then you may want to employ your campaign to send additional messages to help maybe move that person toward making another purchase of potentially a different product or taking advantage of a free thing that you're offering so that you can move them further through your funnel toward whatever that next step might be. You're going to want to plan that out with subsequent messages here, and those would start sending out in your campaign on day 1 and beyond. We also want to create one automation. And in this case, we want to apply a tag to anyone who purchases this product that's called trial lesson. Now, this is something that is not necessarily something everyone's going to want to do. An automation that applies a tag. You're segmenting your list when you do this. When you apply tags to contacts, you're segmenting your list. You want to segment your list based on data that is material to your business. So if what you're selling in your store, if you're selling jewelry, for example, knowing who on your list bought necklaces versus who bought rings is probably not super material to like how you email your list and let them know about sales, because I've never met somebody who buys bracelets that never buys other types of jewelry, right? So basically, you can have a tag that you use universally throughout your store for some products that are just store purchase, so that you can, easily filter for anybody who's ever bought from you before and maybe send them something if you wanted to do that. But in this case, because a trial lesson is sort of a funnel situation, they're seeing whether or not somebody is a fit for Yulia's high ticket program. What we're doing here is we're tagging our person with trial lesson. And then finally, we need to have fulfillment instructions. And this is going to go out with their receipt email. It needs to be very brief. So in this case, we're saying, look for an email from me to book a link, for a link to book a call. Respond to this email if you can't find it. So let's go ahead and put that to use in setting up this product in the store. And that's going to be right down here. After someone places an order, do this. So this is our post-purchase experience. Now the campaign that I have already created is called, let me find that real quick. It's called 30-minute trial. There we go. And the automation that I have created is also called 30-minute trial lesson. And then we do have digital instructions, which I'm going to go and copy. Okay, there we go. So before I go and create product and move ahead, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what these campaigns and automations look like, just so you're clear on what that can look like for you. So the campaign that I've set up is this 30-minute trial lesson campaign. You can take a look at the campaign details just so you know how it's set up here. We've given it the name 30-minute trial lesson confirmation, and then 30-minute trial lesson is the name that they would see if they were to go and manage their preferences with Yulia. The lesson the email that's included in this campaign is a single one that says, let's schedule your trial lesson. I'm looking forward to working with you. And then of course this link goes to a page where on her AttractWell site where Yulia has her Calendly embedded for somebody to pick a date and time that works for their call. Okay, so that is done. Now let's go take a look at our automation that is set up as well. And again, this automation is only adding a tag. So that tag right here is going to be, sorry, not tag manager, we're automation where we're adding a tag. And here we go. This is this one called store purchase 30-minute trial lesson. This is going to be applied when someone purchases from the store. So it says store purchase and it says 30-minute trial lesson in the tag, trial lesson, right? That's it. That's all that's going to do. And so we have that setting here. So when someone purchases, they receive that email from Yulia and they're tagged in her system. So anytime she wants to search her contacts for people who have had a trial lesson with her, then she can easily do that. So let's create our product and head back over to our planner. Now in our planner on the next page, we have our collection branding. So collections are groups of products that you would feature together. So think, in this case, Yulia has sheet music, she has piano tutorials, and she has private instruction. So this product that we've just set up is going to fall into the private instruction category alongside the mentoring program. She has one product in sheet music, she has one product in tutorials. As she adds more of those, she will have a collection of multiple options to purchase sheet music, multiple options to pick tutorials, and people can add all of these things to their cart and purchase at once. So a collection is really just a way for you to really feature things together the way that you want them to. You probably see this kind of thing often when you shop online. So you've got the opportunity to do that here. So I did create a collection image. I actually didn't use this 800 by 800. I just used the same Canva document to create all of the images that I wanted for the store. Just saved a lot of time, didn't have to rebrand anything. So that's done. And then for page design, I created a page that we'll insert above and below products. And these are very simple, and I'll show you what those look like in just a moment. And it just gives you the opportunity to kind of just brand things up a little more, make them look a little, more designy, however you like to do. You could also leave these off. They're totally optional. Of course, you're going to have a store name. So we're going to call this the Piano Online School, which is her brand store. Then make sure your payment processor is connected in AttractWell. So we've just gone through our collection steps here real quick, as well as some basic store setup. Before we get too far ahead, let's pop back over to AttractWell and take a look at what this will look like in Yulia's account. All right, so first and foremost, do make sure, if you haven't done so already, you go under your account settings, scroll down to payment processing, and then make sure that you have Stripe connected so that your store can be enabled and you can actually process and make those purchases. I want to show you as well just a couple of options, and this is by no means an exhaustive example, but there is an example here that I wanted to show you where I called them collections, store instruction collection, resources collection. All these are just sections of a page, literally just like a little section that's going to just show up at the top and show up at the bottom. And the way that I set this up was I created a section. I'll show you how I did this. I added a new section to a blank page. Pretty sure I used one column, no header, deleted the text, and then went into the background editor, changed the background image. And what I did in this case is I added a design from Canva using a banner option. So I think I used a blog banner. Open Canva. Yes, cookies. Okay, and then I would go to elements, and here we go. We'll search piano, set as background image. I think I used one of these guys just to give it like a color wash that was like in keeping with her palette. So just kind of stretch that out over the top. It doesn't matter if it's too big. Change the transparency. Now it's cute. Okay, send to AttractWell. Obviously, you're not going to have two of these sections like the ones that I'm showing you. I'm just showing you how I created the first one. So that's been added to the gallery, and now we can add it to the section, and it's super tiny. So let's make sure that we've selected that section, give it some padding. And I want to make this parallax just so we can like scroll over top of it because I think it looks kind of cool. And then I want to see more of the hands. So I'm going to move it up like that, right? So then I saved it and gave it the padding that I wanted to, and I'm good to go, right? So that's basically how I did that. That's how the page was created that's going to be added to the branding for the collections, okay? Let me make sure that I am not missing anything else here on my own little checklist. I think we're good. So let's go over to our collections. In our store, we're going to create a collection. So you can see we already have piano tutorials and sheet music. Those both have one product. I'm going to add private instruction. I'm going to include private piano instruction here because the name of the page and the name and the link path, this is going to be more advantageous for SEO, big picture, so private piano instruction. If you want to focus on local, you may even include your locale, in the link path. Anyway, so we go to collection photo here, and let's go find the one that I created. The collection, here we go, private instruction collection. Really helps to take a second to title your images that you export from Canva if you do them in bulk. All right, so then we do a collection page above. Here we go, instruction collection. And I'm just going to put the same on the bottom too. And then we add products. First one is going to be the 30-minute trial lesson that we just created. And the next one is going to be the 6-month intensive program, which was created previously. So we're going to create that collection. There we go. We're good to go on that. Now we can go back to our planner and start talking about how we will set up our store. We're almost done. Okay, so the store is Piano Online School. Our payment processor is connected. I've created a top photo for her store homepage. It needs to be a 4:1 resolution. I think I used a 1600 by 1400. You can use custom resolution sizes with the AttractWell Canva integration, or of course you can go to Canva and create your own. It's what I recommend. Either way, using Canva, this is very easy to do. These, of course, they're optional, right? If you want your store to be a little bit more bare bones and simple, like these are things you can add later if that feels like it's too much. Then I do recommend, if you plan on sharing links to your store, not only via social media, this stuff shows up, like if you have an Apple device, if you put a link in an email now, it populates this stuff just like it does for social media. If you send it via text, the link will often pop up its details. So if you have the sharing description and that custom sharing image, then you're going to be able to control what shows up visually when you're sharing links to your store, wherever you're doing that. And so we're going to call this the Piano Online School Shop in the page title. And then we do also, and this is an advanced thing that we're going to get to at the very end, we have an abandoned cart campaign. You may or may not want to use this, but this is a campaign that I've already set up in Yulia's account that just basically says, hey, you forgot something in the subject line. And then it says, your cart is waiting for you. Let's finish what you started. And that's basically it, right? I think I put it here as well. I'm not seeing it, but oh yeah, here we go, the email header. So I created an email header image as well, so you can actually customize visually what goes out from your store in terms of email communications, anything that's coming from that campaign or anything that's going to be coming from this abandoned cart, etc., is all going to have that branding attached. And then finally, in your store and on your store's pages, if you want to have tracking codes, pixels, third-party chat apps, things like that, then you can be gathering those and popping those into your planner, or of course, using a separate document, because those are things that you have the option to use. So let's pop back over here and finish this up by going back to our store. And then we're going to get into our store settings. We're going to go ahead and enable our store because we have to do that in order to be able to see any of this. We've got our payment processor connected. This will be the store homepage. Home is fine for now. Of course, you could always change this. Let's see what I created for this top photo. Actually, I don't think I created a top photo for this. Store email header, Facebook share. Yeah, so there actually isn't a top header in this case. You don't have to use one. You could use a top and bottom photo. Matter of fact, why don't let's go create one. What's the suggestion here? Here we go, 1600 by 400. Let's go create one. So we'll go to Canva, custom, 1600, 400. Okay. And let's go find something that we may have used previously. Oh, this one's lovely. How about this? We'll set that as the background. And it already kind of has like the nice antique muted colors. So we'll go ahead and let's just use this for now. I'm going to send that to AttractWell. And of course, Yulia is welcome to make any changes she likes to this. You'll know where to go and make these changes when you're ready. We'll go ahead and put the top and the bottom, make them the same. We're going to show collections on the home page. And let's start that out with, piano tutorials, sheet music, and private piano instruction. So we're going to show the collections on the home page. And now let's get into our personalization option. We got the same footer as the website, unless of course you wanted to change that for the product pages or the store pages. This banner area is something that you might use if you wanted to maybe have a colored banner that says, 25% off site-wide, use code whatever. That's where you would put something like this. We're going to call the shop for products shop. Search will be search. All of these are logical. They make sense. Of course, if you'd like to change them, or if you are setting up your website in another market with a different language, of course, you have the ability to change these things as well. And now let's get into our custom share image, which I already created. And it is right here. Voila. All right, store page title. Let me go find my document here again. What do we call this? Piano Online School Store. I'm going to copy that from my document and paste it in. There we go. And the sharing description. And this is an opportunity to get people to click, right? So definitely don't skip this. Yulia is only doing anything digitally delivered at this point. Nothing requires shipping. So we really don't have anything to cover here under shipping options. Of course, if you are shipping something physical, then you are going to want to go ahead and set up any kind of shipping calculations that you want to, countries that you'll ship to, etc. And then finally getting into our advanced options. Our store link path can be store. Of course, in this case, this is going to be juliaswebsite.com/store. And our abandoned cart campaign is literally already made. I'm going to give it a delay of a few hours, maybe two to three, I think is fine. And then we're going to use our own custom email template. Now you will see that there's a suggestion here. You can optionally use your own branding, but you do have to make sure that you use the code message body in brackets so that whatever needs to be sent out on your behalf from the store is included here. So let's go ahead and grab our email header. And again, this is completely optional, but it does add a nice little touch. So I've created that. That's going to be our header. You could alternately, of course, include a footer as well that maybe has, who knows, whatever it is that you like to say or show. You could create additional information here that maybe has a link to your store's Instagram or whatever, but definitely also make sure that you have message_body right here in brackets so that it shows up. And that's it. So let's go take a look at what we did in Yulia's store. So there it is on the top. There's our private instruction, piano tutorials, sheet music, right? And then this is the bottom. So you see these are the images for the top and the bottom. You don't have to have them, but you certainly can. So let's go look at private instruction right here in the center. And you can see those, these are page sections. Remember that we've connected here. And then of course we have our 30-minute trial lesson, which let me go ahead and actually grab this link because there's one more thing that I want to make sure that I do. So this is here, but what if they're interested in this piano mentorship? They have to complete a trial lesson before they purchase this option. So what I want to make sure that I do is I want to go back here into that other product and I want to link to the product that they need to check out first. So let's go here to products and go find that mentorship because now we have our trial lesson done. Okay, trial lesson. Let's hyperlink this. We don't need to open that in a new tab. We'll insert and save. And now when we refresh, trial lesson will take us over to the trial lesson that we can, of course, then add to our cart. We can go to checkout. If you want to see what this looks like. When somebody, if I could type today, when somebody checks out on your website, this is what will happen. So I'm going to suggest a new password. And then it's going to take me to the page where I can check out with everything from my cart. Of course, if there are more things in my cart, you'll see more of those things here. I get to put all of my information in here, just like I would anywhere else that I am making a purchase online. And then of course, in a couple of hours, when I don't make that purchase, then I'm going to get a nice little message from Yulia that says, hey, you should maybe come back and do that thing that you were going to do. So yeah, that is that's an AttractWell site with a store enabled. The store is branded. You've got branded collections and you've got products in those collections. So I'm interested in seeing what kind of questions we have. If you have ideas for how you might place something that you offer in a store, sort of what the strategic approach might be there for how you put those together, feel free to, to come out and chat. Let's talk. Let me see. Oh, Misha, good question. Now that my basic store is set up, how can it be seen by my contacts on my main page? So Greg, when the store is enabled, does it automatically go into the menu or do you need to go and add that manually?
You do have to add it to the menu manually. So that's probably the step that's missing there.
Aha. All right. Well, here,
I mean, I guess you could also link it on like a page if you wanted to as well. So.
For sure. Okay. So let's go to, let's show and tell this on Yulia's site. And now Misha, you'll know how to do this as well, and anybody else once you've got your site set up. So you're going to go to your menu. And then we're going to add a new menu header. And this is going to be a link to the store. And what is the name of, here we go. Let me go back up, pianoonlineschool.com. Here we go. So that's going to be label. Oh, right. Store. Hello. Okay, and then when we go look at Yulia's site, the store is right here. That takes you right over. Oh, and look, you can see I've got something in my cart. That's super cool. And I've got an account, which I can, of course, manage as well. Nice. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions here. Definitely please try to make sure they get into the Q&A so that we don't miss them. Does the integration with Stripe take care of sales tax for you when people are purchasing? Yeah, actually, you have the ability to make those modifications and base them on the type of product that you're selling. So if it's something, for instance, here, we'll just go pretend like we're adding a product. Product types, physical are obviously, often something that you're going to see a clearer code for tax on. There's also other like audiobooks. I think Greg used an example for, they have a special sort of taxable code. So there are these different designations. And of course, when you are setting these things up for purchase, let me see. How would that work? You do that in the actual store setup, right? Is that right?
Yeah, there's a checkbox and a link to set it up inside of Stripe on the main store settings page.
That's it.
So
yeah,
that one right there. There's an enable Stripe tax. And if you click that, it'll slide down a little link. You have to click that. There's some setup you have to do inside of Stripe, uploading tax IDs and all that stuff so they know what to do, where to remit the tax, or how to collect taxes and all that. But then it does enable sales tax collection based on the location of the person who's checking out. So it does handle that all for you, which is really nice.
Absolutely. Follow-up question to that from Mary. Does that only work in the store, or will it work on like a custom page that takes payment?
It is only the store at the moment due to how that's integrated.
Okay. Tsitsi, can I limit sign up for an online class? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's so if you are going to, let's just pretend here that one of these products of Yulia's is, let's just say that this is a class and we want only, to have a handful of people here, then what you would do, if I've got a maximum of 10 people, then that's, inventory is 10. If you want to max out seats for something, for instance, if you're using this for an event or something like that, then yeah, you could put the number of whatever that maximum is here, and then it will automatically, show as unavailable, or it'll, remove itself from the store, etc. When that is maxed out. Good question. Okay, we have a couple folks, patient folks here, who signed up for a live review today, or just one actually. Dale, are you here, Dale? If you could raise your hand, we'd love to bring you out to chat. Hi, thanks for being here.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for today.
Of course, of course. How can we help today?
So I guess the best way to explain is so funny. There's been so many things going through my mind. I've got so much word barf in my coaching business that I have been compiling, and therapeutic modality that I have used with friends and family that is working and effective. The problem, I guess, is I get caught in analysis paralysis and trying to get things rolling with the message that I want to create. There's a voice that I think I have, but I'm unsure about how to choose that voice. In other words, I mean, am I, as far as keywords and what am I calling myself? Am I the midlife crisis mindset, motivational money laundering mentor and life coach? You know what I mean? I'm trying so hard to pin that down. I guess anyway. So the first place I guess I wanted to start was taking a look at my homepage, and
Okay.
let me know if I guess I'm on the right track as far as directionally, you know what I mean, and where I am and where I want to, I guess I want to be.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Absolutely. Let's do it. Midlife mindset mentor. That's a mouthful. I love it. All right, let's go take a look. And to what you've just said so far, the only way to know is to do. And that's true about most things in life. I think everything in life, the only way to really know is to do. And so analysis paralysis is kind of the worst place to get stuck, because you're not doing, and so you're never knowing, right?
Right.
So what I would do is meditate on it and go with what you know, right? Make it as simple as possible. Is it something that you could explain to a 7-year-old, 17-year-old, 37-year-old, 73-year-old? Can you make the meaning make sense? If so, use whatever makes sense, and don't worry too much about being clever. And you're going to find that the people who need to hear what you have to say, they're going to know exactly what you mean.
And that's what I tried to illustrate with my wording on my landing or homepage. Is like, look, I got it. You're having an issue right now. Okay. I think I have an idea of how to help you with that issue.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a departure from everything else that you've seen up till now.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think you don't have a word problem. Yeah, I don't believe that you have a word problem at all. There's one thing. So is the quiz this thing down here?
So there's two things. One, there's a happiness survey.
Okay.
Right. And again, it's just a call to action, just to capture, right?
Okay.
And then at the bottom is the actual, this is the coachability quiz that I created that gives me metrics on truly whether or not somebody is at a point in their lives where when they're coachable. Because there are some people that aren't ready
right
to hear what I need to share.
Yeah.
Right. I got it. You've got something in front of you that's preventing you from actually hearing what I have to say. And we're going to work on that to get you from point A to point B. There are some people that are ready, that they know that what they've been doing isn't working and hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. And they're available, quote unquote,
right,
for what can be now. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, so a couple of thoughts here. And again, I don't think that you have a word problem. I do believe that you know who you're talking to, you know what you're talking about, and the way that that kind of logically flows down this page. It does not feel like anything other than a conversation you're having with their mind. And that's really what a website should do. And so while there are ways that this can be designed to visually create more interest and flow, what you've done with the way that you've formatted just text and color on this page is enough to keep the eye moving, right? Like a lot of
Okay.
times when there's just like a chunky block of text, our brain, our lizard, like child brain goes, ha, nope, where are the pictures? I gotta go.
Right.
I need to open Facebook, right? And you're not doing that here. This is all quite good, you know, as a starting point. Two things. The first one, I would recommend, because I do see that there is sort of a, let me see. Obviously, you know, this is something that you're not going to be able to replicate really easily on like on an AttractWell page. That said, I believe JotForm has an embeddable code that you can get so that where you're sending them to is still on your AttractWell site.
I like that idea. Okay.
I would recommend that you do that. And here's how I would actually recommend you work this integration. Actually, I have a visual model of this that I uploaded a few days ago. I was chatting with our team about this. I'm wondering if I could find that here real quick. Basically, if you want to embed or use a third party's sort of survey or quiz type software, there's a thing that you would want to do first to capture that person as a lead in your AttractWell system, then leverage a form like this, but not have like the data that's captured in this form isn't really of incredible importance unless, you know, it's at like a closing stage. So if we're, for instance, if this is at the top of your right here, if this is really just for like grabbing leads and they want to kind of see what their happiness score is, what I would do is actually have this be a pop-up or go to another page on your site where they are offered the opportunity to figure out where they sit on the happiness index and to get some tips from you about, you know, how they can raise that score in different places and have that sort of be your lead magnet. So there's a couple things you'll want to do to get that done. Obviously, you would want to either have the form on this page or you'd want to have a separate page that offers it. The form that's going to pop up would just need to collect their name and email address. You don't have to put a bunch of information that they have to fill out there because they're going to be filling out a survey on the next page. Now, the campaign that you're going to want to create is going to send them to that page where you've got this guy right here embedded, right? And then maybe on this same page, you have some of those tips. Like if you scored this, then here are some things that you might want to do. If you scored this, here are some, like just keeping it kind of general. And so that way you're giving them that sort of interactivity and learning something about themselves on the, like they're still on your website while they're doing it. And then they're also able to kind of connect what those solutions are. And then in your email campaign, maybe you're showing up and you're touching with, you know, here's a happiness tip, here's a thing that you might do. And then you're kind of, you know, you're gently nurturing them towards seeing that, hey, you know, maybe I should talk to this guy. Hey, maybe I should show up on one of these guys' workshops or something like that. So I would encourage you to maybe position this more like a lead magnet. And then what this guy is down here, this I would potentially consider maybe moving to a work with me page eventually, you know, where somebody's going to maybe learn about your story, your background, your, you know, your credentials, right? Whether those be like, you know, School of Hard Knocks or certification or both. Have all of that there and say, you know, are you ready to take next steps to blah, blah, blah. First, let's find out if you're ready, right? And then you send them here. So again, there's no problem on this page that I see. I think that you're communicating what you need to say well. I think it's spaced out in a way that makes a lot of sense, and you should just be using this until you see that it makes sense to make more tweaks to it. But those are the tweaks that I would make, is to really kind of position this more as a, hey, you know what, you're here right now because you're looking for something. And why don't we figure out if happiness is a part of it? It probably is. And how you fix that might surprise you. I'll show you all of that on the next page. Put your email in here and let's go figure it out. At which point, of course, they get that survey and then they start getting a drip of emails from you. And of course, in that email sequence, you could be inviting them to take the coachability
Take the quiz, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we just back off of having both call to actions and just have the one that's at least doing a capture right at the top.
Yeah.
Let's see where you're at on this scale and
Mhm.
explain to you what I'm seeing from the results. Is there a way to create a quiz inside the quizzing that's available in AttractWell and use that?
To a degree, yes. It's not going to score them though, like a quiz, like a traditional quiz would do.
Right.
The way that I tend to use, and it's forms on pages. So if we go to create a new page in your account, this would be, let's just use this one. Let's just say, for instance, we're talking about you, here's your credentials, here's what I do, here's how I help people, et cetera. And then maybe you've got a section where, they might want to explore if they're a fit, right? So in settings under leads, you can ask loads of questions, right? Now, you do have the ability to attach automations to their answers. So if somebody answers this question from this drop-down list of pick one, let's edit the list here. So if they answered A, then they might be tagged to receive a specific campaign after they submit, right? So you do have that sort of you have the ability to, you've got conditional response capability here. It's just, I'm not going to pretend like it's a one-to-one sub for a quiz where you're saying, take this quiz and find out if you are X. So what I would recommend doing is actually just having the quiz and having it embedded on your page, and then reference whatever the sort of score ranges are on the page further down. Right. And then be emailing about those. So that way, anybody, whether they scored here or here or here, they'll all be served similarly. And the fact is, for folks who are just getting into your funnel, they're going to be a lot less willing to open up and share with you at the top of your funnel than they are after they've built trust. So a lot of the information that you're gathering at the top of your funnel isn't necessarily material to the close beyond what was the sort of main benefit of the lead magnet that they opted in for, or what was the sort of attribution source. They came from a referral from this person, or, that those things are going to matter more in terms of the data for the contact and how you close them as a client than what their score, answer was, because you can in your campaign that you attach here, respond and say, hey, tell me what your score was. And I think that this is something that you could build some trust with as well, because if you have, you're taking their name and email on the first page, the quiz is embedded in the second page, and you're not asking for their name and email on that second page. So, and you could even say, the results of what you put in here are 100% confidential. I don't even know what they are, right? But I'm going to share with you under here the different ways that you can address these different levels, et cetera. And then, of course, in your email sequence, you could say, hey, what did you score? I'm looking to help a couple people today raise that level a little bit. Tell me where you're at. Let's see how I can help you, right? And then they can come back and say that, and now you've got a thread to pull, and that's a potential new client for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I want to find this real quick. I'm going to hop out of the share here. I think I deleted it, or maybe I didn't. Let me open that amazing new, Apple has this new app called Freeform, and maybe I actually have it and I do have it. Okay, I'm going to open it up and show you. Dale, this is for you.
Thank you.
This is written for, this was designed for a realtor, a coach of realtors. So in this case, it's, take the quiz, learn what type of realtor you are and the best ways to grow your business if you're this type of realtor. So this can be like happiness index, right? So this could be a page, a section of a page, like your home page, or a separate landing page. The next page, your quiz is going to be embedded on the page. And you have the option, you can include the type stuff and all of your advice for the types on the same page as the quiz. Or you could say, be on the lookout for an email from me. So that way we're actually getting them to open their email more, which is good for your authority in the inbox. So 2 pages it is a good idea where that's concerned. But this button could send them to this page. And then what you're doing here is you could say score here, score here, score here, score here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these are called jump to links, or like, so if you go into the section of a page in AttractWell, you can name it. And then on that button, you put hashtag, whatever that name is, and it'll jump down to that section. And so if somebody is a type 4, they don't have to scroll through types 1 through 3.
It just brings them right there. Exactly.
Yeah. So you set those pages up, and then, you have a campaign. The first message is going to remind them to take the quiz. And then of course, this one's going to say, hey, go check your email, right? So that you can go to this one, and then you go on from there.
Can you send me a copy of this?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Happy to.
And then, so the embedded form, you said what, it was Apple? Say that again, please.
Oh, no, this,
Gotcha.
the thing that I'm showing you this on, when Apple did its most recent update, it's called Freeform, and it's just like it's a free app that you can like create these awesome, I love using
wireframes, right.
Yeah, I love these for designing funnels, but yeah, this is a new free app from Apple.
So you're not a big fan of JotWell.
Not familiar with it. I was using Lucid
Jot
Chart
form.
before.
I'm sorry, I'm dumb. Jotform.
Oh, Jotform. Yeah. So the reason why I'm suggesting that you don't use Jotform to collect leads is because there's not a direct JotWell integration into AttractWell. So you're not actually capturing those leads into your contact manager where you can be triggering campaigns and adding your notes. Like it's creating more work for yourself. And so what you're doing, and it doesn't matter if you're using like whatever the quiz software is, if it's Jotform, if it's Google, or I don't even know if Google does it. What is that one? Try Interact is another one. All of these, I believe, I'm pretty positive. Typeform is another. They have embeddability. And so the user experience is they're not jumping from your website to another website, which is important for trust. It's also important for SEO authority long-term. You want to keep them on your website, on your domain, clicking around. And
Gotcha.
so, yeah. And then importantly, what's happening here, this is sort of like the fun interactive piece that they're getting. And then this is like the meat of the content, but you're able to send them messages and nurture them because you captured them here and not on a third-party site.
They stayed with me. Right.
Yeah.
And they continued their journey through me. So can I create that pop-up that captures them? Right when they click that button, I can create the pop-up in AttractWell.
100%. That's right.
And
yeah.
When they fill that out, it's going to take them to that page, and then we can start that process.
That's correct. Yeah. So here, let me actually show you real quick. The workflow that I would follow here is to create or make sure you've got the form, like make sure that the quiz has an embeddable form, remove any requirement for adding their name and email to it, and also remove the requirement for them to like enter any kind of, contact information in order to get their result, right? So let them like submit and get their result right there. And then you're going to want to create this page where you've got all of your types, right? Then you're going to create this page, which is going to link to this guy, right?
Yes.
And then you're going to create your campaign, and then you're going to create the form on your webpage.
Gotcha.
So we're working backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So the take the quiz is actually just the pop-up. primarily.
Take the quiz over here on the left is that's just sort of, that's your carrot dangling. That's, you know, learn your happiness score would be this, and this would be on the homepage of your website, like that top section, ideally is what I'm suggesting here. And then when they enter their name and email, they click let's do this, they enter their name and email, they're then sent to this page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And when they enter their name and email here, this campaign triggers.
Okay. Keywords, but I suppose that's another question for another time.
Who?
Keywords.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess the biggest question I have as far as marketing, do I need to have a URL with keywords? Do I have to really have anything with keywords other than just connecting landing pages with those keywords that connect with my homepage? Can I do that, do it that way, so to speak?
You can, but like the utility is arguable. Really the best thing you can do, content is king. So make your brand you, and be out there making content that helps people. And you'll find that you don't really, like, you'll make some clever stuff, and you'll discover in doing, you'll learning from doing what a lot of the sort of keywords are that they're coming to you with, because they're going to tell you what you need to use for your SEO strategy. But you got to be out there making the content first. It's kind of a chicken or the egg conversation, you know, like we wait to start creating content until we feel like we have the right keyword strategy. Make content that helps your people, and the people who respond to it, have conversations with them, right? Like we don't enter this game as gurus, right? That's like not a thing that happens. It's not a thing that works. It's a ground game. And so if you are participating in that and connecting with people, then you're going to be gathering all of that intel that you need to take what you're already doing, because you got to be doing, it's going to take what you're already doing and really hone it and perfect it in the direction that you want to go. So it's not something that really has to be predetermined out of the gate. It's not a make or break. Like, you showing up authentically in your language for your people, helping them get transformative results, like that's your job. So if you do that well, all of the stuff that helps people know that that's what you do starts to, like, the path reveals itself with that forward motion.
Just be, and I hate to use buzzwords like authentic, but just, you know, my voice, right?
Yeah.
It's who I am for this space. I got it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to pull any punches. I'm direct. I'm in your face. Look, this is what we're going to do, because you want to get from there to here. And
Yeah.
we'll do it together. If you don't want to do it, great. I got it. But, you know, and this is where I'm at it. And then when we start talking, I'll get more from you about this, so that I can expand my explanation, my, you know what I mean, my wording to reach others. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I hope that helps you, and I'm excited to see what you create with it.
It certainly does. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Take care, Dale.
Thank you.
Awesome, you guys. Thanks for sticking around today. You got a little bonus. Here's how you set up a quiz funnel in AttractWell today. Who knew that was coming? I just totally had that in my back pocket. Glad that could be of multi-purpose use this week. All right, so we will be back here same time next week, 2 p.m. Eastern, as always. Bring a friend. If you've got somebody who needs help with growing their business, we are wanting to expand this community. We've got an incredible Facebook group, incredible brain trust of people. And look, we believe in what you do. We believe in people who are put here to help others, to advance this, just the collective brain and heart of the world. And we are here to help you get that done. And we aren't withholding when we do that, right? So what you see here is what you get, and there's a lot more. So we are so excited that you've chosen to be a part of this community, and we look forward to helping you grow your business again next week. We will see you here back same time. Have a great week, everybody.